Today's video is brought to you by Surfshark, the ultimate in online protection. More on them in just a bit. The first trillionaire there will ever be is the person who exploits the natural resources of asteroids, said Neil deGrasse Tyson. Asteroids could be big business. In fact, resource financial analysts like Noah Papanak have pointed out that a single asteroid, no more than 100 meters across, could contain between $25 and $50 billion worth of platinum alone. The asteroid 16 Psyche, first discovered by Italian astronomer Annibale de Gasparius in 1852 and targeted for a visit by NASA in cooperation with SpaceX in 2029, has been estimated to be worth in excess of 10,000 quadrillion US dollars. That's a 1 followed by 19 zeros. Compare that with the entire output of the current global economy, which stands at $100 trillion, and we're talking about a rock 270 kilometers across worth 100,000 times all of the goods that the world economy produces in a year. Or is it? Today we're going to be talking all about asteroid mining, how it will work, what it will mean for the future of humanity, and what will happen to the global economy if, or perhaps when, it is achieved. The question has to be asked first, why mine asteroids at all? Well, the answer requires that we step back in time a little to talk about how the solar system formed. That began 6 to 8 billion years ago with an accretion disk of gases and heavier elements that were ejected from the heart of a dying star when that star went supernova. The elements that formed in the heart of that star include all the heavy elements that we now find in our solar system. Most of that matter formed the sun and the planets, but a tiny amount, about 0.014%, never coalesced into a planet or into a moon and continues to orbit the sun independently. There are literally trillions of these objects in our solar system today, and a tiny few are relatively close to the Earth. And that's good news for us. Asteroids in the inner solar system are rich in some of the heaviest natural elements, including iron, gold, palladium, nickel, iridium, and platinum. Actually, many of the best sources of these elements on Earth are in the impact craters of ancient meteorites, and it just so happens that these elements are precisely the ones needed to power modern civilization's technologies. So-called rare earth elements are used in the production of microchips, batteries, magnets, nuclear reactors, and much more. Asteroids offer an opportunity to obtain more of those elements in one place than the entire known supply on Earth. Yet they do not come cheap. So today I want to talk about something that's really important when it comes to online security, and that would be today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. So what does Surfshark VPN actually do? Well, it masks what you do online. Look, a VPN keeps you safe and private by covering up everything you do online. But not only does Surfshark keep you safe, it also allows you to virtually travel the world in just a single click. Just tap of a finger, click of a mouse, and you can change your IP address and access different content libraries from around the globe. Think, for me, it's accessing American Netflix, which is bigger. For you, it might be accessing something over in Europe or Japan or wherever. Plus, you can easily connect to popular websites like Amazon and AliExpress, even if they're blocked in the country you live in. Another great thing about Surfshark is that it lets you access your bank safely, even on public Wi-Fi. That's right, you don't have to worry about your personal information being compromised while you're on some dodgy free Wi-Fi in the coffee shop. And if you're an avid online shopper like me, and honestly, like everybody in the world, Surfshark removes all cookie consent pop-ups from the websites you visit. No more annoying pop-ups when you're trying to shop. And if you want to take your online protection to the next level, they also offer an add-on security combo, including Surfshark Alert, Antivirus, and Search. So if you want to control your online security and privacy, get Surfshark VPN today. Use my promo code MEGA at surfshark.deal/mega or click the link in the description below to get 83% off and 3 extra months for free. Stay safe and stay happy browsing with Surfshark. And now back to today's video. Asteroids come in essentially 3 flavors: C-type or clay silicate, S-type composed of nickel, iron, magnesium, and silicate, and M-type made of mostly nickel iron. Now, most are merely rubble piles, conglomerations of loosely connected materials that have been attracted together by gravity. However, a minority of asteroids contain a large solid core of heavy metals, and That's where commercial mining is currently focused. In order to mine precious metals, there are essentially 3 approaches being seriously considered by commercial miners. 1, a mission to rendezvous and scout an asteroid, then deploy a mining drone whose purpose is to physically separate promising parts of the rock and boost them in a return trajectory toward Earth. The rocks would then be scooped up by a commercial orbital mission and returned to Earth in a capsule. 2, a mission to put optical mining platforms in space near asteroids, then gather the rubble of an asteroid into a kind of giant space bag and direct gathered sunlight from solar panels or reflectors and focus them into powerful lasers which are able to break the asteroids apart and separate out the heavier elements, returning them in large blocks to the Earth. Or finally, 3, a mission that attempts to land on and redirect the orbit of a larger asteroid such that it is brought within range of the Earth so that either manned or robotic missions can extract the resources while closer to home. Of these options, by far the most plausible in the near term is the first. The problems of powering a spaceborne optical mine of the intensity required to cut through rock and metal in space are still beyond our technological abilities. However, this will become important later on when we talk about the real prize in asteroid mining, and that's actually gathering water. Public institutions such as NASA and ESA, the European Space Agency, have pioneered work on asteroid interception over the past 2 decades. Missions intended to land on or impact with near-Earth asteroids have proven successful and shown that we can reach and even potentially land on asteroids. However, some commercial projects, such as Trans-Astra Corporation, argue that physically mining the surfaces of asteroids will probably never be economically viable, and so they're choosing to skip to more advanced methods at some point in the future. The future of asteroid mining, as a commercial endeavor, thus remains very much in doubt. While scientific missions focus on returning tiny sample sizes home for scientific purposes, commercial mining would need to deal with multiple tons of space rock to be economically viable. As of today, only 1 single gram of material has ever been successfully retrieved from an asteroid by humans. That was part of the Hayabusa missions carried out by NASA as something of a forerunner of the much more ambitious OSIRIS-REx mission, which is currently underway and plans to return up to 1 kilogram of material from the surface of the asteroid 101955 Bennu, a carbonaceous near-Earth asteroid which is not expected to yield any monetarily valuable materials. Projected to cost at least $1 billion, the OSIRIS-REx mission is meant to study the early solar system, but it will also establish a baseline for understanding the challenges of asteroid mining at any kind of scale. OSIRIS-REx did successfully collect a sample of at least 400 grams in size and is currently preparing to return to Earth. The mission highlights the many challenges. Matching speed and achieving orbit around such a tiny object is incredibly complicated. Landing on it is even more so. If commercial asteroid miners want to begin to exploit resource-rich asteroids, they will have to solve all of these problems and many more. This is probably why, despite a burst of excitement in the investment and space exploration community in the early 2010s, possibly buoyed by the successful launches of reusable rockets by Elon Musk's SpaceX, few asteroid mining startups have managed to get off the ground, so to speak. Current plans, such as those of Kepler Energy and Space Engineering, project future missions using autonomous mining robots, which will be able to extract over 40 tons of regolith from small near-Earth asteroids, and they say that that might be possible toward the end of this decade. But, well, funding continues to be elusive. What Kepler is looking for, though, might actually surprise you. It's not gold or platinum, but rather water. The real problem facing potential space miners when it comes to rare earth minerals is the risk of being too successful. You see, though asteroids like 16 Psyche may contain minerals that are nominally worth quadrillions of dollars, a successful mining mission would almost certainly crash the world market for those minerals. The world produces only about 220 tons of palladium, critical for making catalytic converters, fuel cells, and smartphones every year. That's why it's worth a whopping $63 a gram. However, a successful mining operation might return hundreds or thousands of tons of the stuff, making them effectively worthless. Thus, a mission costing billions of dollars and returning what is ostensibly trillions of dollars worth of metals might end up not turning a profit at all. A successful mining operation on 16 Psyche alone would return more palladium, gold, and platinum than human civilization would have a need for by the most generous of projections for over 100,000 years. While that might spell a new era of incredible prosperity and a quantum leap for our species as a technological race, it would not actually make the space miners particularly rich. If we want to mine asteroids for metals, we'll probably have to do it through government programs. Now, that might end up being good for our planet, but it certainly wouldn't be good for the financial prospects of a space miner. The real future of space mining, however, is bright. Not because of rare materials, but actually because of some of the most common ones. Millions of tons of gold and platinum might be worthless on Earth, but hundreds or thousands of tons of hydrogen and helium, the very stuff that makes up 98% of our solar system, are worth much more than their weight in gold, as long as they're in space. You see, it's expensive to launch resources from the Earth into space. Even with the enormous cost savings presented by reusable rockets from SpaceX, it still costs around $10,000 to put a kilo of mass into Earth's orbit. That means that transporting things like hydrogen-based fuels and drinkable water from the surface quickly becomes the most expensive aspect of any potential interplanetary mission. Asteroid miners today argue that the real gold rush in space is going to be for water. When Neil deGrasse Tyson refers to the world's first trillionaire being a space prospector, this is actually what he's referring to. The ability to produce jet fuel, water, and breathable air in space will open the cosmos to human exploration and usher in a new era for our species. And remember that optical mining idea? An optical mining rig doesn't seek gold and palladium. It seeks water. The optical mining collectors will gather water ice into what amounts to be giant space snowballs and return these precious chunks of water to Earth's orbit. TransAstra, another space mining company focused on water, has commercial agreements already in place that value a payload of just 100 tons of water at $1 billion upon its delivery in orbit to Earth. What that means is that just 5 liters of water in space is worth the same as a kilogram of gold on Earth. And there are other more important resources in asteroids too. They promise to be a plentiful source for the critical helium needed to make things like fiber optic cables and semiconductors, among many commercial and scientific applications. Helium is in increasingly short supply on Earth, with governments already being forced to ration it. Without helium, much of the technology that we rely on today, and which we will most definitely need to build a greener and more sustainable future, becomes impossible. Indeed, helium, along with water, will be the true source of the world's greatest wealth a century from now. And perhaps, if we make it, asteroid mining will play a critical role in that very future.